I didn't do that. Good evening, everyone. I'm Marie Rogers, Vice President of the Board of U.S. Sailing. I hope you all have enjoyed our first full day of Sailing Leadership Forum. Welcome to our Rolex candidates, past Rolex winners, the staff and board members of U.S. Sailing, Rolex leaders, and invited guests. Let me also welcome the Master of Ceremonies of the Rolex Yachtsmen and Yachtswomen of the Year Awards, past U.S. Sailing Board President, Gary Johnson. Speaking of past presidents, let me welcome Corey Serval, Bruce Burton, and Janet Baxter. This is such a pleasure to be at my very first Sailing Leadership Forum and proud to be your host for one of the biggest highlights of the year. We have an incredible lineup of U.S. Sailing Award winners to whet your appetite for the big event, revealing the 2022 Rolex Yachtsmen and Rolex Yachtswomen of the Year. We are being live streamed, so those who are unable to attend can enjoy the ceremonies along with all of us here today. With that, allow me to introduce our first award presenter. Sandy Grosvenor, Chair of the Race Administration Committee, will present the Harman Hawkins Trophy on behalf of the Race Administration Committee.
Thank you. The Harman Hawkins Award is awarded annually to an individual who has made an outstanding contribution over a period of time to the sport of sailing in the field of race administration. This year's winner is the epitome of these criteria. He has served U.S. Sailing as a race officer, umpire, judge, and a World Sailing International judge. But it's not these certifications alone that make him worthy. He has been a judge or an umpire at virtually every U.S. Sailing Championship, many of them more than once. He has served on his Area Appeals Committee. He has also served U.S. Sailing as a race officer instructor, on the Bylaws Committee, and on the Review Board. And he's a past chair of the U.S. Sailing Judges Committee. He was part of the team that developed the U.S. Sailing Umpires Program and an inaugural member of the Umpires Committee. He served as a race official at scores of world championships, including just a few: the 1992 America's Cup, Canada's Cup, the 2000 World Sailing Match Race Championships, the 2000 U.S. Olympic Trials, and over 30 years, this is a giveaway, of the Bayview to Mackinac officiating team. Mackinac, I'm sorry, I'm not from Michigan. There are very few who rate with them at the level of as an official serving sailors. I, for one, proudly count myself as one of the many who have looked up to him as a mentor and a role model. And just in case that was not enough, he's also a past Commodore of Bayview Yacht Club, Detroit Yacht Club, and past president of the Detroit Region Yacht Racing Association. On behalf of U.S. Sailing and the Race Administration Committee, it is my honor to present this year's Harman Hawkins Trophy to Ted Everett Hammond.
Sandy called me about this. Well, first of all, I was, I think, on the Judges Committee and kind of involved when we created this trophy. And when Sandy called me a couple of months ago to tell me about this, I was literally speechless, disbelief, completely overwhelmed. And that's how I feel tonight. So thank you very much. I must say a couple of thank yous. my best friend, Marcia Everingham, herself a skilled race officer. She let me go out and play and leave the lawn unmowed and the grass, the snow unshoveled. Some of my Bayview friends are here. It all started for me at Bayview Yacht Club. Thank you very much, Governor Burton among them. At Bayview, we say, sailing is what we do, it's who we are. And you are those people, and so you know how overwhelmed I am, and I thank you all very much.
I would now like to introduce Tom Duggan, member of the Race Management Committee, who will present the St. Petersburg Yacht Club Trophy on behalf of the Race Management Committee.
Hi, everybody. This evening, I was thinking about this a little bit. This evening, we have a lot of awards to give out, and tomorrow everybody's going to be asking who won this and who won that. I don't think anybody won any of these awards here. I think they all earned them. And honestly, I think they earned them. I don't think they win them. And I think that the St. Petersburg is the same. So the St. Petersburg Trophy, let me read from what it is. Awarded to a local sailing association, organization for exceptional race management in a specific event. Among other factors, the comments of the participating sailors weigh heavily in the selection of a winner. They weigh more than heavily. It's really, the competitors pretty much call this thing. So it's not among us, it's among, not among race management people. It's the competitors who decide who win this thing. So I have some comments that I want to read about this year's award recipient. Some extremely difficult wind and surf days. The race committee did a great job adapting to rapidly changing conditions. Making the decision to have a black flag start after just one recall was an excellent decision that proved to be right, as there was no recalls for the next 8 races and almost nobody over. These guys were easily and by far the best race committee my team have ever experienced. The conditions were challenging and very windy, blowing up to 36 knots with waves as big as our boat. Every race began on time as scheduled, and the course was square and even. This is the best event I have ever attended. The PRO actually received a standing ovation at the end of the regatta. The starts were timely, the line's excellent, which limited the time the competitors were on the course in those crazy conditions. The yacht club put on a rock-solid regatta on all levels. There was nothing that we could think of that could have been done better. The race committee on the water team, the judges were excellent. Without a doubt, this regatta is hands down the best regatta I've raced in years, and I've got 52 years racing regattas under my belt. One more we could do. This was incredibly well run by the race committee team, the event chair, and his team of volunteers did an amazing job of organizing and running social activities. Everything from measurement to general organization was terrific. One of the best world championships, if not the best, I have ever been to. Okay, so the event we're talking about is the J24 World Championship. It was run by Corpus Christi Yacht Club. So, we have the event chair, Brad Sturge, with us, and PRO Mark Foster, and some other members of the Yacht Club. Come forward. I just met Brad a minute ago. He seems like a nice enough guy. Happy to be the person who gets to give this out. I've known Mark for a very long time. I'm very proud to be the person giving this to Mr. Foster, who has now won 4 of these, I believe. He's the Tom Brady of St. Petersburg Trophy.
Thank you for this great honor. no event of this scale happens without fantastic volunteers, and it is our volunteers that make this such a great event. So on behalf of our volunteers, we happily accept this trophy.
I think Tom mentioned that it was earned, and the group at Corpus Christi always stands up and does an amazing job. Obviously, I'm just one person of the team that was on the water, and I say thank you to all of them on a regular basis because they make my job so easy because they do it so well. And at the same time, we have a great staff and a volunteer group at the Yacht Club that always steps up and makes it happen. No matter what we ask of them, it shows up in spades. So I'm very honored to be here and appreciative of the sailors and their comments, and look forward to running another regatta.
Tonight, Elizabeth Kratzig is here to present the Kevin Burnham Memorial Award. Elizabeth is an 8-time U.S. sailing team member, ODP coach, and she is currently on the nominating committee for U.S. Sailing. Please welcome to the stage Elizabeth Kratzig.
I'm presenting the Kevin Burnham Memorial Award. This is the second year that this award has been presented, and it's in honor of my late husband, Kevin Burnham, who was a 4-7-year-old silver medalist. And Kevin was the kind of guy when you walked into a boat park, I feel like you just sort of knew he was there. He was always smiling, he was friendly. I mean, everybody, he had a sense of enthusiasm that was contagious. And this award is given down to somebody, it's through nominations, who embodies the spirit of Kevin Burnham. And that includes the following characteristics. Passion, he had a lot of that. Persistence, you tried for I don't know how many years to get the gold medal. Perseverance, sportsmanship on and off the water, and most importantly, I think, love of the sport and love of his or her competitors. So this award to me is so important because it really embodies what all sailors should strive for. It's not the person that does the best in the regatta, it's not the person that, you know, shows one act of sportsmanship. It's somebody that's always there, that's that you want to be around, you want to sail. So this year's winner, I'm going to read a few short sentences about this person that was written by the one who nominated him. So this sailor, this is the quote, is an outstanding sailor and a fantastic person, just like Kevin. He's applied his skill and enthusiasm into coaching as well as sailing in a super impressive way. I know Kevin was a mentor to this person, and I certainly have witnessed this person accomplishing the highest heights, including both his own awards and coaching sailors to Olympic gold, while, like Kevin, bringing enthusiasm and sportsmanship to the table. This person's list of regatta wins as a competitor and as a coach is too long to mention. Multi-time All-American, college champ, keelboat champ, and world and Olympic champ coach. So, the fact that he's everyone's favorite person to lose to says a lot about his approach to the sport, to say nothing of his sailing skills, just like Kevin. And so tonight I would honored to award this to a very dear friend of Kevin's and mine, Mark Iron.
That's a mouthful to swallow. Thank you. When I was getting married, someone very wise said, take a moment when you finally get married and you turn around and you walk down the aisle, and that's kind of what I need to do right at this moment, because it's pretty emotional. Kevin Burnham was a legend to all of us. He was an example in so many ways. He was a family man. He was married to EK. He had a beautiful daughter, Kyla, and son, Eddie. He committed his life to sailing, and the passion was, just surrounded us. And my wife said to me, do you want to write anything before you go up there and stand? And I'm like, no, because Kevin wouldn't write anything down either. He would just get up there and he would just say, come on guys, let's go, here we go. So, you might get a little rambling, come on Tiger. But for me, the description that EK just read is something that I truly try to bring to everything that I get myself involved in. I started sailing when I was 7 in Sabbats out on the West Coast. I went up through the youth champs. I went to school on the East Coast, so I got to combine my East Coast and West Coast friendships. And then I ended up getting into the Olympic coaching. And then I worked for our U.S. sailing team. I was a 2-time U.S. Coach of the Year. And then I ultimately ended up working for the Swedish Olympic Federation and got exposed to the highest level of the star class, which is, truly, at that time was the absolute highest level there. I've also worked in America's Cup stuff. I've run the Youth America's Cup when it was in San Francisco, and sailed in some of the old version boats up in the top of the mast, calling the wind as a young guy as well. Sailing is a community, and I think, it was already mentioned, people earn these awards. It's not just one person, and this award is kind of difficult because it's not representative of like a great year of sailing or this or that. It kind of is a sportsmanship award. And I look out at Dave Perry, who's sitting here, and I'm honored to have been a recipient of the Dave Perry Sportsmanship Award when I was at the Youth Champs back in the day. And I have a connection with so many sailors that are here from the West Coast, the East Coast, and European nations, Australia, all around this world. And, I challenge everybody here to think of Kevin the next time you're in a race park, or myself, and take the extra moment to say, how's it going? Or throw a dock line to someone when they're coming in. Or if someone's had a crappy day, just say, hey, it's all right, tomorrow's another day. And, we have so many variables in this sport that are changing all the time. Technology, the waves, the wind, the tide, the sun, the clouds. We're very, very lucky to be a part of it. And Kevin just never gave into that. He loved it. He loved waking up and looking out and seeing the Gulf Stream clouds out over the beautiful east coast of Florida. And he'd say, today's going to be a great day, and you just felt it and you wanted it to be a great day too. So my little moment of this is awesome. I'm super humble and thankful for it, but all of us can go forward, keep the sport going, take care of each other, and when you have an opportunity, be there for the person that needs it. And Kevin was always there for me. I sailed to Jamaica twice with him. I won Key West with him at Boat of the Week. I will never be the same because I've known Kevin and EK. And so this opportunity is for all of us. Thank you to EK and the foundation. They're giving grants out now. If there's people that can help give to that foundation and pass on to Olympic sailors that are coming up in the future, we need that. Marseille is coming up, Los Angeles beyond that, and the future is bright for us again. And so thank you, EK, for making this recognition. To Kevin, Steve Benjamin, I know as well, helped out. Keep Kevin going strong, keep our sport going up, and back each other up, all right? Thank you very much.
welcome Larry Ledgerwood, Chair of the Education Committee, presenting the Virginia Long Sail Training Service and Support Award.
Good evening. So the training or education side of our organization, this community that we live in, we have an award called the Ginny, and I'm here to present that. It is formally called the Virginia Long Sail Training Service and Support Award, but we refer to it as the Ginny, in honor of Virginia Long. And the Sail Training Service and Support Award is in honor of Virginia Long, would honor or honors individuals who through their efforts unselfishly assist and enable sailing program or sailing instruction in a support role. So in our world, there's awards for instructors and people who actually teach sailing, and then those that support the organizations that do that play a little bigger role. And this award is designed specifically for people in that support role. So let me tell you a little bit about this person. So the winner of this year's Virginia Long Sail Training Service and Support Award, you can see why we call it the Ginny, has served as Executive Director of the Junior Sailing Association of Long Island Sound, known as JSA, since 2005. So for any of you who are associated with all that, you can immediately figure out who that is. It's been 17 years. And in that role, he helps coordinate sailing program activities for over 2,500 junior sailors in 43 member clubs. So this is a person that's having a big reach into junior sailings and bringing people into the sport. Working tirelessly to organize meetings and clinics, he's helped provide invaluable opportunities for constituents to expand their knowledge base. As an effective organizer of junior regattas, he consistently is on the lookout, it's a hint as to his personality, at other events and best practices that he can bring back to the JSA. In other words, he steals ideas from other places. He's always out there looking. And in this quest for best practices extends into the education space as well. It's not uncommon for a presenter from this year, from the year's leadership forum, or the NSPS to show up in that year's JSA annual all-instructor clinics. So if you're presenting here, be careful because he's likely to kidnap you and take you to Long Island. This individual is eminently selfless, sharing his wealth of expertise with anyone who asks. His tireless dedication to the sport of junior sailing has benefited families across the region. He's constantly adding new resources to the GSA website, making it available to larger audiences via blogs and websites, updates, social media, and more. So it's a sense of this expansive reach that's getting him earning this award. I love that phrase. In recent years, individuals affiliated with the JSA have been recognized for their efforts to improve junior sailing. So we've seen a number of them up here. But in many instances, those success stories have a common theme, the energetic support and passion of this year's winner. As one person who nominated him for this award said, he is the glue that holds the JSA together. It's my pleasure to present the 2002 Virginia Long Sail Training and Service and Support Award to Robert Bob Whitledge II.
Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you, everyone. I have to say, I am really humbled to think that so many of my associates nominated me because of the work they've seen me do supporting the activities of the Junior Sailing Association of Long Island Sound. I believe, in fact, as some of my nominators suggested, that much of my success during the years that I've been involved in the JSA of Long Island Sound has been achieved by helping promote best practices. Now that includes the broad range of U.S. sailing programming, as you all know about it, but such as the small boat training courses that we try to organize for our large organization in Western Long Island Sound, the curriculum resources, like promoting the use of the new REACH system curriculum a few years back, and continuing now with the more recent Skill Up. The safety and training, such as the safe powerboat handling courses that are available at local organizations like SUNY Maritime. But I couldn't have accomplished any of that without the great support and assistance of the many junior sailing program committee people, the volunteers on the committees, the junior sailing directors and their head instructors and coaches, and of course the JSA officers and directors themselves. Now importantly, it's also the staff and the volunteers at the U.S. Sailing Association that have been always responsive to my requests to come and support those efforts in Long Island Sound, as Larry mentioned, and some of our own training organizations and activities in Long Island Sound. And I don't want to forget that we've been also supported by all of the builders of boats for youth sailing and their local dealer networks, who have always been very helpful for us too. And as Larry mentioned, one of the ways that I've been able to contribute to the effective dialogue among the junior memberships in Long Island Sound has been to attend these sailing leadership forums, as well as the national sailing symposiums, sailing program symposiums, to pick up new ideas that I may broadcast when I come back to the Long Island Sound area. So during the next few days, 2 days, I will certainly look forward to meeting more of you and exchanging ideas about best practices for junior sailing programs, and I look forward to supporting those implementation through all types of junior sailing activity and programs. Thank you so much.
It is now my honor to welcome Rich Jepson, current U.S. Sailing Board of Director President, to the stage to present the Timothy L.R. Trophy.
Thank you, Marie. Okay, who knows Timmy Lar? Oh yeah. Yeah, so she's a icon, of course, both from a sailing standpoint and a service standpoint. She is a third of the reason why I decided to volunteer at U.S. Sailing, even though I first came here for totally selfish reasons. We've created an award in her honor that's the highest training award at U.S. Sailing, and it's given to recognize a person whose vision and guidance have made an outstanding contribution to the advancement of sailor education in the United States. So let me tell you about our 2022 recipient. With a degree in instructional design, augmented with lots of time in the psychology department, a long career in training experience into executives and managers, and a deep knowledge of proper instructional design, this recipient was purpose-built for what I needed at my business, OCSC Sailing, and what U.S. Sailing needed in its training of sailors, instructors, race officials, and safety at sea moderators. His early contributions to my business, OCSC, were momentous. He's such a great trainer of employees. He helped us transform our entire business. All of our success from the early 2000s to 2014, when I retired, had his fingerprints on them. He helped us with culture, sales skills, self-awareness, sophisticated customer service skills. It made us more effective, taught us what customers' employees really needed from us, helped us learn better problem analysis.
and decision-making skills. Our best and most profitable years followed the heavy lifting he did on our staff and our model. I will add, he did that, even though we were a for-profit business, he did that for free, because he's a great friend. Our sailing together has been wonderful. J24s, Etchells, J70, Mercury 18. Anybody know Mercury 18? Old guy boat? Yeah. And we've done the Baja Haha together. We've done numerous international charters. So I'm just saying this full disclosure because, you know, in lieu of a conflict of interest statement. But he joined the training committee, now the education committee, many years ago. I wish I could say I recruited him as the chair to U.S. Sailing, but his interest in serving and having a positive impact on the sport we both loved brought him to explore it with me. I grabbed a hold of him before he could reconsider, and off to the training committee he went. He brought professional understanding of instructional design, training skills, years of teaching executives and sailors, and a deeper appreciation of the psychology of learning to the training committee than we had ever had. He listened more than he spoke, but when he spoke, we always learned something brand new about the art and science of teaching, instructing, and coaching. With those skills and decades as a corporate trainer, he was just the person to help us put NSPS and later this event, Sailing Leadership Forum, on a continuous improvement path. He helped create new best practices, structural improvements, and thought-provoking topics. I was told today, and I know this is a fruit of his labor, that was the best morning session I've ever seen at one of these. And that all lays at his feet. He helped create he's an extremely talented public speaker. His skill as a speaker allowed him at the two events to introduce complicated topics and concepts brand new to 90% of us, each of which made us better leaders of people. He served as the volunteer leader of NSPS and SLF agendas to ensure that our content and structure comported with professional standards of continuing education for leaders, and has taught us all to create content that gives you the return on your investment that you deserve at these events. After years of serving on the training committee, he saw that it needed to be reimagined. He embraced the strategic shift U.S. was making to become staff-led and volunteer-supported, and asked himself, if many of TCOM's responsibilities are shifting to the staff, what should it be? What should its best purpose be? He was ready to take action when I retired from that committee to join the board and asked him to succeed me as chair. He redesigned the committee to meld with national faculty, our research and development arm, on educational products, services, and standards. It's doing great work with all facets of U.S. Sailing to improve how we train our volunteers, coaches, instructors, and trainers. We benefit from the strategic vision and the creativity of this incredible volunteer. Please recognize my good friend and colleague, winner of the 2022 Timothy Alar Award, Larry Ledgerwood.
Thank you, Rich, for those kind words. One of the things that Rich taught me early on when I got involved with the training committee and the awards process is why we give awards. And again, I love the notion of that they're earned, not, passed out. So I appreciate his kind words. But another reason that he created and was instrumental in creating the training awards are to inspire others. So yes, it's recognition of some work that we've done, but it's really also to show other people, hey, come join this community, come get involved, you can do this, we need your help. And so it's really with that spirit that I stand up here and accept this, and I appreciate the lesson, Rich. You gave it over and over. Timmy's not here tonight, but to
get an award in her name. She's been pretty instrumental in my volunteer work here. It was pretty amazing and moving, and when Stu called me, I was speechless, as has been said by another tonight. I'm gonna run through a couple things, and I'm gonna, as I said this morning, I'm gonna leave out like way more than I'm gonna say, but I believe that this community, the connection that we have, the things I was talking about this morning, the connection, our discovery together, our growing together, it's important for us to be together as a community, and I wanna recognize some of that inclusion that brought me into this. I'm also gonna do something that may be a violation of acceptance. How many people in this room are new? Just, it helps me to have an understanding, because I know this is probably, okay. So for the few of you, you may not know these people, but they're most of them in this room. 25 years of connection, and I want to recognize a few people. I remember one of my early experiences was in an empty ballroom after an NSBS event, and I was having a drink with Charlie Arms and Kim Hapgood. And just to sit at the table with them, and I was new. I was this guy that came out of commercial sailing school. I learned to sail as an adult, and for those two women to take me in and have me feel part of this, thank you. I don't know if Kim's here, see her, but anyway. Janet Baxter, at the same meeting that was down in Miami, she was president then, would include me in dinners and take me out. It helps to hang out around with Rich. But also, Janet, I thank you for those inclusions and making me part of this community. Stephanie and Ross Webb, who any of you know that are from this area, have been constant supporters of mine and brought me in and been reinforcing. The training staff, in the old days, I remember one of the first meetings I was at, not like this, but I was with Perry Burns and Kim Hapgood, and we were in Betsy Allison's at her kitchen table with them talking about coaching and bringing coaching and formalizing it, creating courses and how we could do that. I remember Betsy turning to me and apologizing for all the shop talk in front of me. I'd never met her before, and I'm going, I'm sitting here listening to this passion about the sport that I love already, and you talking about, from a professional training standpoint, how to up the ante. I'm like in seventh heaven, so thank you for that experience. And more recently, Stu and Jessica and Bradley and Katie, more recent training staff that has been tremendously supportive. I wouldn't be here without them. Of course, the training committee, the national faculty. Chuck Hawley's not here. He was a poster boy of the first crossing over the silos and coming over to the education side, and that's grown. And so we have race management. We're looking at one organization, and I think those have been big strides. And a couple of people who are sitting here, some that aren't. I'll mention one. Jim Muldoon has been a constant supporter and a big reason I'm here, and an encourager. I've mentioned Janet, and I'll mention you, Gary. Your words and your support have been meaningful over the years. I appreciate that. And so lastly, I encourage you to go out and continue connecting and discovering and growing while we try to get this community to grow and be what it can be. Thank you very much.
Presenting this year's Nathaniel G. Herreshoff Trophy is former U.S. Sailing President, current Foundation Board member, Corey Sergel.
The Nathaniel G. Herreshoff Trophy is U.S. Sailing's most prestigious award. It is awarded annually to an individual who has made an outstanding contribution to the sport of sailing in this country in any associated activity. After serving as president of this association for 20 21 years. This year's Nathaniel G. Herreshoff Trophy winner will be stepping down in May. The Intercollegiate Sailing Association and its member organizations host over 300 regattas a year for approximately 5,000 members. Under his leadership, the ICSA has grown in membership, secured increased funding in the form of title sponsorships from industry partners, and increased participation in national championships. In just the past 3 years, he has led the association through significant progressive organizational change, including the formation of a participant-led equity and diversity task force that has worked closely with U.S. Sailing, the addition of a new women's team race championship, an overhaul of the organization's governance structure that is more representative of all stakeholders, and the hiring of the first executive director to run the association's day-to-day operations. All of this was accomplished while guiding the association through the pandemic and maintaining a racing schedule and championships under strict medical protocols. His steady hand on the helm of one of the largest sailing associations in the country will be missed. Mitch Brindley's 28-year coaching tenure at Old Dominion University with 7 national titles is notable. Mitch was on the sailing team himself with All-Americans and Yachtsman of the Year and America's Cup sailor Terry Hutchinson, and Olympian silver medalist Charlie Ogletree. I wrote in my notes, Charlie actually went to the Olympics, I think, 4 times. Mitch has coached many notable sailors who have become world champions and pro sailors, including Olympic gold medalist Anna Tunnicliffe Tobias, Olympian Sally Barkow, and Steph Roble. In the words of Sally Barkow, Mitch's strength lies in his steady commitment to building athletes with resilient character and strong commitment to the sport, who know how to harness their competitive edge. So on behalf of the U.S. Sailing Board of Directors, I am honored and delighted to present the Nathaniel G. Herreshoff Trophy to Mitch Brindley for his exceptional leadership of the Intercollegiate Sailing Association.
Wow. When Rich sent me an email last month or so, I was really nervous because usually I get an email from the president of U.S. Sailing and it's something we might have done wrong and piss someone off. And so I was really floored. And honestly, you look, there's so many people here that are in this room that have been honored, have either come up here or been honored or just are in this room that I have relied on in my tenure with college sailing, to run races for us, to run championships, to umpire, to judge, to field questions, to help us solve a problem and help me work through something. And so, to all of you, thank you. You're part of what makes all of sailing great, but specifically college sailing. So thank you. We rely on you. So, we've all been in that situation. If you're a helmsman, and I don't get a chance to drive boats very much, but when I do, and my kids are on board, they certainly do this. But if you're a helmsman and you've got something going on, you're supposed to be watching the telltales, but the foredeck has put the pole up, and so now you're watching the pole try to go up or get the sheets around, and you're now footing or you're way off the wind, and they start yelling at you, and that's kind of the situation I'm in. I've been in with college sailing for years, is that I've got a group of coaches and advisors and college sailors and student leaders that will yell at me, like, whoa, you're pinching, or whatever it is. And so they promptly yell at you to do my job and watch where I'm going and stuff like that. And so for that, I'm thankful. There've been so many people. We have such passionate coaches and wonderful student leaders that are, really carry the torch for the sport, and we should all be, proud of them. And I'm really thankful that Old Dominion has been so supportive of our program. I want to just reflect on all the Monarchs and all the ODU athletes that were up on that screen, and which is really pretty cool for me. But Old Dominion has let me have the time to kind of spend time with the rest of college sailing. And I really want to thank all the assistant coaches I've been so fortunate to work with that take up the slack when I've been on the phone when should be on the water with practice, or something like people like Charles Higgins that's now at Tulane, and so many others that have really helped me do this job well. And so for all of you, thank you. And let's just keep getting after it and keep sailing, keep growing the sport. So thank you all.